So when we look at these things, mindset has an effect on it, and your conditioning has an effect on it. And then of course, how you sabotage is also part of your conditioning. So, and then the last part is that internal critic, because you and I both know how many people hit that imposter syndrome when they're like, can I do it? And all of those inner voices inside of themselves that start limiting. And then when you start creating doubt in your own capacity to do stuff, that affects the way you function and the things you may do to make your business successful. Right.
Absolutely. And I love the way that you describe it as default, because with the default, it's like, you know, I've grown up in a large family. So there's some things that, you know, how we came up and how our parents would treat us. So that would be everything around that would be, it would just be normal. And that's all that we know. And so you can take that, and I'm not saying it's bad or good, but if it's good, it's great, because then it
Right.
means that is what you're taking through your life. And a lot of people, like you mentioned, don't even realize that actually the way that they're talking to themselves, the way that they are telling themselves negative things is impacting them as a person. It's impacting their business, it's impacting their goals. Because, like, at the end of the day, of course, you can set your goals. But, like I said, at the end of the day, if what you're telling yourself is not what you should be telling yourself and how you're thinking, because it affects it, doesn't it? I believe that, look,
Mm.
negative emotions disempower you and positive emotions empower you. So if you're getting up and you're saying, hey, when great things are happening today, and I this is why I say great things are happening today. So when they do, it's absolutely brilliant, and I'm like, yes. So that's how I'm going. That is how I'm starting my day. And if you're kind of rolling about thinking, oh my god, not another day, or I know I'm not going to get that piece of business, so what's the point of me bothering to spend the time on this proposal? I know I'm not good at being a pitch. All this negative chatter doesn't help.
No,
It's
we
literally
we end
disempowering.
up being our worst enemies. I mean, most of the problems that people have with their business are self-created. It's not, especially if you have the strategy. If you've done the work with you and you've gone through and you've developed your strategy, even with that strategy, at the end of the day, when people start hitting up against their unconscious conditioning, then they become their own worst enemy. The way they talk to themselves, the way their sabotage works, their mindset around things, and more than anything, which is something most people don't even examine, is their relationship to money. What is your conditioned relationship to wealth? Because I'll tell you, when I came out of a community, because I lived in an ashram and a spiritual community for many, many years, and when I came back into the world after 12, 11 years of being there, and I entered back in the world, and I had all these tools available to me, and I was going to apply this into a business framework. One of the things I recognized that I had not done was examine my actual conditioning around my relationship, consciously and unconsciously, to wealth, to abundance, and to money. And so part of that is all your inner work. That's all your conditioning. It's an inside job. And your business will refine you. Like, your business is the faculty, is the forum where you get to face these parts of yourself. You get to engage and ask the questions you probably wouldn't have been asking if the business wasn't there in the first place, right? So the business challenges you to push through and if you want to meet to the next level, you've got to cross through your comfort zone, and you have to challenge yourself into a whole different way of thinking, more other and beyond your present circumstances. And if you've never examined what your conditioning is, what your relationship to money is, your sabotage, your mindset, how your criticism works, then how the heck do you have the opportunity to do anything around it? So for me, it's vital. It was vital as a business person for me to examine my inner conditioning and to have tools, because then I could understand where I'm coming from. What's my starting point? Because if I don't understand my starting point, then how do I know what I'm going to apply in order to be successful? You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think that you talked about uncomfortable, and I really believe that, look, if you want to change, something must change. And 99% of the time, it starts with you. And so there's going to be times when you're going to need to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. So, and I think that that's something that people really need to tackle and not shy away from it, because sometimes, and the thing is, it's like you're going through life and in your business, but you've still got everything else going on around. And I mentioned how my son says, oh, why do you always talk out loud yourself? And I thought, like, I'm asking myself the question, I'm putting myself through a process of what is going on? What does this mean? What do you need to do? I ask myself that question, and then I'm able to think that out and then have the answer. So it's like you're almost kind of like examining yourself and doing this sort of like self-evaluation.
Right.
And it's really important, because for you to be able to be successful as well, it's not, look, no one said running a business is easy. Okay. And so, and there's that thing. So that's why I always say you've got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable, because you do need to. And then there's that huge part of you. Do you even know yourself? Do you even know who you are? And I think a lot of people who become solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, don't know that. So when they hit a wall, they just feel like, oh my God, I'm a failure. I failed 19 times. I'm very much like, if I failed 19 times or fallen, I say fallen 19 times, the most important thing is the 20th time when I get back up, because I know I'm coming back bigger and better.
Right. And when you hit
lessons.
that spot, when you hit that point, that's where those tools, those inner tools, are definitely necessary, because people then they hit that spot and they get that stuck. They're stuck in this the inner kind of strife. That's where the inner tools are powerful to know yourself.